Back now with Appleton Police Chief Polly Olson. You're a lifelong resident of Appleton. What's so special about Appleton? Why did you stay?
Hey, that's a great question.
Yeah.
Appleton, wow. I have generations of family, both sides, from Appleton. So my husband is from Appleton. He was a graduate of Appleton West. I was a graduate of Appleton East. We did not know each other in high school. We met once we were in college, but once we met, we learned that our parents went to high school together and graduated from Appleton High School. And so didn't know that at the time, obviously, until early on in our relationship. Obviously, we made that connection. And, Appleton has just really been, it's a family-friendly place, certainly a lot to do when you're raising your kids. There's great schools in Appleton. With the Performing Arts Center and with the Timber Rattlers, and you just think of all the opportunities for, entertainment and arts and recreation, that it really is just a fantastic place, to live. And I can't imagine actually moving and living anyplace else.
Going through high school in Appleton, what made you decide to go into law enforcement?
So I didn't decide to go into law enforcement until well after high school and college. And that's actually one of the reasons why I feel very passionate about trying to make connections with people in high school, and specifically young ladies in high school, because for me, that was just not at all anything I had ever been exposed to in high school.
Really?
So I have a bachelor's degree in biology, and when I went to college, I initially started thinking I was going to go into nursing, and then transitioned into more of a pre-med biology course of study. And after that, I got a job with the Outagamie County Coroner's Office, because that was somewhat connected to my interests in biology. And it was while I was working that job that I had some exposure to law enforcement and working with some of the detectives from Appleton PD, who then suggested to me that perhaps I should look at policing.
There was no training for that coroner's job. You found yourself in that position. Did you ask yourself, how did I wind up here? What am I doing here? What did you do in that job?
That was a really great job.
Really?
Actually, yeah, it really was. You really learn a lot very quickly, and navigate through, I think, how tough it is sometimes to have those conversations with people when you have to, either tell them a loved one has passed, or, some of the technical stuff with the medical pieces that are involved with that. And so that was really a really great growth opportunity for me that I think set the stage for future success in law enforcement.
And I take it that experience has helped you now. Now
Absolutely.
that you're at the top of the food chain, you have a pretty good perspective of what goes on.
Yeah, you do. I think it really makes you assess about what's important in life. It certainly makes you think a lot about, again, when you have to deliver tough news to people, how best to do that. And unfortunately, that's a part of our job that we sometimes have to do.
Yeah. Not to inflate your ego, but you have had a decorated career already. Wisconsin Association of Women Police named you Woman Officer of the Year. That was in 2008. NAMI of Fox Valley named you Crisis Intervention Officer of the Year in 2010. Your department awarded you Officer of the Year in 2012. A lot of accomplishments in a short time. What do you think people saw in you or see in you to garnish those sorts of accolades?
I think I would hope it's my sincere compassion that I have for other people, and I feel that working hard, making sure that crimes of victims are properly served. I always felt like anytime I approached any investigation or any project I was working on, that, what if that were a member of my family? That was the victim in that case. And I worked a lot of cases involving sexual assault victims, and so for me, that was something I was very passionate about during that time. And I think if you can personalize it that way and think, how would I want a family member treated, that drives you to do that work in such a way that hopefully it is the best that you can do.
Yeah, we have much more to come. Polly Olson, Appleton's brand new police chief, is with us, so stay right there.